Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. All right, good evening, folks. Thursday, why am I doing that? But anyway, yeah, Thursday, the 1st of August, which is the horse's birthday, actually. So any horses out there, happy birthday. It's what I do remember. I don't know where that come from, but yeah, I do remember. But guys, it is going. Oh, are you glad you live in Australia? I'm just going to ask you the question, are you? I mean, this place is up to shit, okay, because we know it. We know what's going on in the background. A lot of people don't, but we do understand. But guys, do you thank God every day that you get up, that you actually live in this lucky country? Because I tell you what, you wouldn't want to be living over in the Middle East, man. All right, around Iran and, you know, all these places. It's getting, I'm not even going to comment on it, guys, but it is about to get way, way crazy over there. I might comment on it tomorrow night when I look about, you know, no wonder Israel didn't take claim of something that just happened not long ago. You know, it's very crazy what's going on there, guys, and they are ramping it up hard. This is what we really, really expected to see, or I expected to see. All right, is they're going to push and they're going to push, okay? Are they going to get to where they want to get to? No. All right, but they are certainly going to make it look like it's going to happen, guys. All right. Now, Putin's also leaked out, right? And this was at a military press conference. All right. Putin has told his people, right, that the deep state plans to set up another pandemic, all right, worldwide, the avian flu. And, Putin and his men will obviously be getting a bit of the blame for that, okay? But he's gone to a military press conference, guys, and said that the word's out, you know. So we all knew it. Again, we knew this was going to happen, all right, but we're just getting told now, you know, through other sources. And I'm telling you, when Putin speaks in military conferences and that, you can believe what Putin's saying. He doesn't lie to his people, all right? They try to tell us that he does, but I'm telling you what, he doesn't, man. You know, you'd move to Russia tomorrow, guys, if you really knew the truth, all right? Anyway, right, we've had a few sorry, guys. We've had a few listeria outbreaks already. Now, we've had some big ones in America, and I'm telling you, this is going to be worldwide. But this, again, guys, is part of their play. All right. Yeah, I'm not saying there won't be listeria. I'm saying that the listeria will be put into the vegetables or whatever else it is. It's going to be on the recall, Matt, on purpose. Then the recall will be done. And this is all just a way of shortening the food supply, all right, and doing what they're doing, guys, all right, keeping people living in fear. That's their number one. Because while you're living in fear, you've got no reality on what's actually happening, you know. So this is how they work, guys, all right. But yeah, the Middle East, watch it. Okay, if you're interested, it is gonna really, really get it. Yeah. Okay, so let's go on. All right. All right. Well, we're talking about that. That's, you know, I'm not even going to go into that one. Right. Let me get into here, guys. Right. Small firms exhausted under trying economic climate. So what we're finding is that even fewer new firms are starting. All right. There's no incentives for them to start. There looks like there's government incentives. When people look into these things, there's, you know, it's warm as toast on the inside, but then as soon as they get into the business arena, you know, all these things. So again, the governor helping people set up to fail. All right, to just help bring down the economy even more and more and more. And guys, they are doing a absolute cracker job of it. We got a couple of things on the show tonight that when you have a look at, you know, we'll give you the behind what's going on. Kellyanne Conway, just for a bit of American stuff, trashing JD Vance. Haven't looked into it yet, guys, but you know, that's one of the people close into Trump. So again, the shit show's on over there. Who knows what's going on? Western Australian builders registration revoked, leaving hundreds of unfinished homes. Again, another ploy over there in Western Australia, guys. They revoked his building license, you know, for stupid reasons, but that's had the 200 unfinished homes. You know what I mean? And they did go to try, and the government set this up, all right, because they did try. They gave an insurance thing out, and then that was stopped and blocked, you know, by the home. So it's just an absolute shit show. What it's showing is they're just trying to bring everything down, guys. All right, they have to. All right, and they're doing it. So apparently Albanese's looking at an early election. I don't know where he's going to get any votes from, or he goes for early election or no election, and I'm hoping that these guys will be removed before that even happens. Okay. So we've got people saying that the demise of the embattled regional airline Rex highlights an aviation system that is set up for failure, according to Australia's former competition czar. Okay. So because Rex can only do the domestic, you know, and the smaller thingos. So what they're saying is there should be just more. There should be more than just the two big airlines doing the cities, the major cities, that Rex should be getting into that market. But they're holding Rex out of that market so it can fail because the smaller market is not enough to keep them going, guys. So again, all by design, and it's all designed to fail. Okay, you know, and I don't know how people aren't just seeing all this, and share the show out, guys, right? Get people onto it, okay? And we just got to get people educated because, man, they are just coming at us so hard. So, yeah, Melissa put on the prayer meeting this afternoon. Guys, remember 3 o'clock every day on Twitter. We get together. Today's was more of and it was a great conversation. We had a guy from Thailand come in, an Aussie guy. We had a few really decent conversations on different things, guys. So that's 3 p.m. of an afternoon. Melissa will be putting on what is Australians Come to Pray. But as we, you know, touched on today, where 2 or more are gathered in his name, we can have conversations because that's prayer, guys. All right. And we can just, talk about stuff. So, you know, we try and keep that going. Went for 2 hours today. We're trying to do it for, you know, an hour. That's all. But today was a great space and it kept going. So, but that's what we're doing, guys. We got to get God back into this. Okay. The only way to bring him in is to go and show him that we're here and give him somewhere to turn up for us. So that's 3 p.m. Twitter. Every weekday. All right, let's get Cazz in here and we'll see what's going on around the traps. How are you?
Hi, really good. Yeah, we got heaps going on. Look, trigger warning for Dave. Here we have somebody having a rant about windmills.
I'm at the port of Brisbane, and look at the size of these wind turbines. These are what we're going to populate the entire Great Dividing Range of Queensland with. And once we destroy this environment, our natural flora and fauna. It's gone forever. This is madness. These are effectively windmills, and we think they're going to power the country. I mean, I wouldn't be so upset if we at least made them ourselves, but we can't afford to make them ourselves. They're about 100 meters long. 1 in 300 burn down. And when they're 300 meters in the sky, you can't get firemen to put them out. One fire could just wipe out the Great Dividing Range. This is madness. And it's an information war. Just so many.
All right, we'll leave it there. That full video is available on our website. Dave, did you want to comment?
Yeah, well, we were talking about it beforehand, Caz, but go into the other. As I've said to you guys, there's 5 prongs for everything here, right? We're laundering money, all right, by actually purchasing these things and doing what we're doing. We're stealing the land back to be able to do this. We're then decimating the land, so the land is no good for any other purposes. And then what may they be able to bring in after these things fail? And what do you think, Caz?
Well, then after they've actually, what's it called again? It's not environment. It's not allocated as environmental or what's that word that they use? Escapes me at the moment. But anyway, basically, once it's divided up, like you can see there, so notice how they've put a line straight through. Well, it means that it's basically it's open so that they can bring in the miners, so they can actually have that land mined. It's no longer
start digging resources.
Yeah. That's it. Unbelievable.
It's crazy, guys. Everything's 5 prong, guys. All right, they have 5, and then off, like I've said, off them 5 is another 5, and off them 5 is another 5. They don't miss a trick. They clean out everything right the way down. They've got it. They've got it. We got to take it back, guys. Let's win. Come on, let's get that winning
that's
thing
it.
that I've been
now,
talking
that's another
about.
thing too. Remember how those fires rip through? See, if the fires rip through, what you got to understand too is it no longer applies to the environmental laws. Don't apply. So when they're it became very convenient down in where was it? Not Mollybook, somewhere down Merimbula. Those fires that rip through. Yeah, someone who lives there was telling me that the environmental laws no longer apply to them.
Yeah.
So it becomes very cheap land for developers. So
to stop them rebuilding. It took them, some people 12 months later. Me and Mel were down there, right? Because we went down in the fires and helped them out and that, as you know. But 12 months later, I think we went for a trip down there, and there was people who still couldn't get in to rebuild their houses because the government hadn't yet, right, removed the asbestos from the old buildings that were burnt, and they wouldn't let anyone else go in and do the asbestos. It was a government thing, and that was it. So that's how they held it up. They couldn't get back onto their properties. Sent them broke. It's just incredible.
Yeah, no, they're all out to squeeze everybody, and they do. And it's basically the government's not out to support you, whatever you think. All right, now there's other environmental laws now, or environmental things coming up, but it's actually coming up at the Olympics. Look at these guys; they're vomiting. I'll just play that again.
Is this after the triathlete?
No, this is because I was swimming in the sea. The river.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So these guys swam in the river.
That's it. So, and now they're vomiting straight up because apparently it's all environmental and it's all clean. You've also got the case of the boxing, the male boxers. You're right. The internet's scrubbing those. They're just like you can't even find the videos of them anymore. But you've got this situation where a female volleyball player, 17, left paralysed with brain damage by a transgender opponent who cackled with delight after knocking her to the ground. Now, I've said this before. Why don't they just get off their ass? The transgenders can have their own event, and then everybody wins. But no, they can't do that. They want us to be at each other's throats. Not only that, this is basically a war on women. Who puts a male in a boxing ring or competing against a female? Like, seriously.
Did you see the guy, the Christian surfer, who weeks before the Olympics was told to get Jesus Christ off his surfboards or he'd be barred from the tournament? Seriously, Brazilian guy. Christian, got pictures of Jesus Christ on his boards. He had to get them all off before he went there. I quickly perused it, but I think he actually put something else on there, you know what I mean? But I don't think he removed the Jesus. Well, he did remove the Jesus Christ, but he got something else on there, I think. I'm going to have to look into it. But this is where they are, guys. You can't even have Jesus Christ on your surfboard. And I tell you what, didn't Jesus turn it on, or God turn it on over there and say, man, there was crazy waves, man. They couldn't even surf it. It was going off its rocks.
Well, that's right. Now, also,
Alps.
you got the situation where now this is the White Rabbit, Nicola Charles. She's reporting that friends of hers in Paris are saying that it's empty. The Olympics is an expensive plot. Restaurants are making no money. Tourists have not arrived. I guess they ensured that would happen with their imported migrant crime and pornographic opening ceremony. So,
Have you seen the green screen footage? Have you seen the green screen footage? Everybody's out in the streets enjoying themselves like it's a party, mate. It's unreal, guys.
It is. Everything's unreal at the moment. So it's almost like,
they're showing on television that everything is fine, mate. Everything's just honky dory.
Now we've got a lot of footage coming out about the UK, but also you've got this as well. So thousands of Afghans have been secretly flown into the UK. Over 5,000 immigrants and in under a year have been flown into Britain. So it's not just the boat arrivals. It's not just them coming via the tunnels and everything else. It's also basically they've been flown in and they've been housed in military bases.
Yep, up north,
And when they protest, now, those of you who were involved in the protests in Melbourne particularly would have a fresh memory. Well, now the UK people are starting to experience what our people experienced. Same playbook.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, but
guess what today?
What's that?
Police are crapping themselves, mate. They're backing off. All the football guys and everything are coming out now. All right, and you know how the police were taking the pommies out and running from the Muslims. Now they're standing back off the pommies, mate. The pommies are arming. They're bucking up, man. And it's not what we want, guys. But what else do you expect to happen?
That's right. Look, they want the break. They're engineering this breakdown of society. Look, so here's the thing as well: is with the that remember the armadillos? They got nicknamed the armadillos. The police clothed in all black, okay, and that riot protection gear and all that sort of stuff in the battens. Well, it's almost straight out of Melbourne. They almost lifted them straight out of Melbourne. Same uniform, same helmets, same class shields, same absolutely everything. The only thing I haven't seen was a shooter up the top of one of those armored vehicles, but they're like, against their own people, like for protesting, like seriously.
Yep. This is what's going on.
But there's been lots of backlash with regards to the opening of the Olympics, and you can actually see it here. This is 700,000 people. All right. Now, what's interesting? Yep. Well, what's interesting about that is that the web bots, and I've got it here somewhere. The web bots, they have been predicting this for years. So Cliff High's web bots, I've talked about this before. What they do is they scour the internet for a language that changes, and he believes that everyone is a little bit psychic, and because of that, it can pick up linguistic patterns and forecast things. So he's actually come out and he said, okay, so this is just the very beginning. As the data had pointed out for years, there is a new form of Christianity that will emerge from the lies and the suppression of the old of the original Christ message and words. So he talks about like the Elohim cult worship via the Talmud. But basically, he has been forecasting this for years, and apparently, we're becoming into a new era of Christianity and a new era of truth as we start to understand what the Bible really is and what the Bible really means. So that's pretty interesting.
It is very, very interesting, and there's going to be a lot coming out, guys. It's very, very interesting how much you and I have been lied to, and how the general public out there are going to do their friggin' heads in, mate, when they understand what's really gone on out there. But anyway, we're getting there, guys. We're doing a great job, a magnificent job, actually, of having the deep state in absolute turmoil. So, yeah, been brilliant effort, guys. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
You are the climate change.
All right. So now we've talked a little bit about this hit on Trump, and we've covered it a little bit. Here's a report that's really unusual because the sniper is on video, is shot, and Trump's still speaking. So who the hell shot him?
See a shadowy figure that appears to be moving on the roof across from the stage where former President Donald Trump was speaking back on July 13th. We know from the FBI, would-be assassin Thomas Matthew Crooks traversed on roofs that were about 150 yards away from the rally stage. So perhaps this is Crooks who was captured in this video. In the meantime, though, we know there were communication failures. Would-be assassin Thomas Matthew Crooks. Would-be assassin Thomas Matthew Crooks. Would-be assassin Thomas Matthew Crooks.
What you know about rolling down? When your brain goes numb, you can call a metal freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the
So there you can see, probably not great visuals, but you can actually see that he receives a shot to the head. Like it did.
Yep. And I'm afraid that we're probably not going to know.
Back on July 13th, we know from the FBI, would-be assassin Thomas Matthew.
All right, so now what it actually shows in that, though, is that it goes on further to break it down, and you can hear, even after he's dead, you can hear Trump still speaking. So obviously the water tower and the cameraman, as Tori says, has been covering. And that's intelligence operations. And the reason why they do it is because it creates confusion. So they send in multiple people. That's what they did with JFK. So the witnesses that day will say it was the driver, it was the guy came in the gutter, it was the grassy knoll, it was from behind me. And that's why in more often in these cases, it's everybody, you go, oh, well, who's telling the truth and who's lying? Somebody must be lying. These guys must be lying. No, they're actually all telling the truth. JFK was going to die that day regardless of anything. That's how they do it.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. By design.
That's right. We've got this really interesting report. He mentions XRP. XRP has settled their SEC lawsuit. Actually, it's American tomorrow. I think so. American time tomorrow. Our time tomorrow, their time today. But he says something really interesting about the military-industrial complex and Eisenhower.
On XRP.
Yeah.
And I wanted to just share this with people because I'm really starting to buy into what you're selling here, Rob. I got gold and silver, but XRP to me seems like it makes a logical sense. So I'm going to go ahead and start this video from the beginning.
Before you show that, back it up for just a little bit. I want to set this up for just a second, Dave, because I want people to understand when we were first warned about the military-industrial complex, it was by Dwight Eisenhower in 1961, okay? 3 days before Kennedy took office. He warned us of the military-industrial complex. And what he said was, in essence, we face a hostile ideology, global in scope, atheistic in character, ruthless in purpose, and insidious in method. The Rothschilds are global in nature. They're atheist from the beginning. Okay, they're atheist in character. They're ruthless in purpose. They want all power. They just created this whole tax debt, fake money enslavement system. They don't care about our lives. They just want power, money, and control. And they're insidious in method, which means they're liars.
Right.
Right? So the warning of the military-industrial complex was the warning of central banking. It's atheist in character, it's ruthless in power, it's godless, it's global in nature. And the distributed ledger technology, David, is all about taking out central banking.
That's a good clip. It's just a bit long, so I won't play any more of it, but he breaks it down really well and So look, the CBDCs they want to bring in so that they can enslave us. The technology is neutral. However, as it explains really well, goes on to explain is that the distributed ledger technology, which is on the blockchain, actually it has the ability to free us. Okay,
Yeah.
so that we don't need the banks anymore. We can actually lend to each other. And basically completely cuts them out.
Like Trump used to do way back in the day. He used to, I watched a story today of a fella talking, and the thing was done back in 18 or something, and he was talking about how these black fellas, of black descent, they couldn't get loans, business loans, had great ideas, couldn't get the loans. Trump told, and someone said, go and see Trump. They went to Trump. He gave them the loans, and the loans were set out so that all they had to do was pay the interest, you know what I mean, the first interest payment up front, right? And the loans would be given and then just passed out on interest until the principal was paid, yeah? And when Trump got the check off him, gave him the loan and got the initial checks off him, he ripped them up. Yep. That's the type of guy he is, and he has been, but you're not going to hear about it.
No, I know.
But, then again, we can be all getting played. I'm open to all. I don't know.
We are.
Yeah, we're open to everything.
We're open to everything, Look, there's a lot of information coming out about the vaccines. Mainly it's overseas. And certainly you've got these reports here. That's what I forgot to bring in. Look, on top of the Olympics Day, guess what? Second sabotage. French internet fiber cables have severed. Widespread disruptions. So now you're not actually able to view the Olympics out of France because the internet cables have been cut.
Again.
So, again. Now there's a lot of information coming out about about the vaxxers. So you've got the German media has admitted that the unvaxxed are the winners and demands the government apologise. No, there was actually an apology offered, I believe. Certainly on the mainstream media there was one. I don't know about the actual government. And you've also got the CDC leaked data. So German CDC COVID data leaked, shots harmful and ineffective. Basically, that's the report that's come out from their own. Yeah, that's their own report from the CDC. But you've also got things like this. These people here speaking out.
Before COVID, I was looking at VAERS and found a correlation with autism in the vaccines, particularly the MMR vaccine. But the COVID vaccine is over the top. I mean, it's just so much worse than anything that's come before. It's extremely toxic just from looking at VAERS, because when you look at those, it's just incredible, the reports that you see there of a disaster. Even just one vaccine can just completely destroy a person's health.
All right, so you've got that. Now also you've got basically this obstetrician. She's come out and she's talked about it.
That people are getting the documents from the trials, there were bad outcomes, and the miscarriage rate was 80% in the Pfizer trials. They knew that.
Dr. Kimberly Biss is a board-certified obstetrician and gynecologist. She's grown her Florida private practice to a 5-provider group that delivers roughly 300 babies a year. Once the COVID-19 genetic vaccines rolled out in 2021, she observed some disturbing trends in her patients.
I noticed that my miscarriage rate from year to year had gone up by 100%.
She began tracking and comparing her data in real time and made waves when she published her findings on Dr. Jessica Rose's Substack in 2022.
A lot of medical schools, over 50 to 60% of their money probably comes from big pharma.
This is American Thought Leaders, and I'm Yanya Kell.
All right, now, so you've got that. Now, there's also this, Dave, you could be very wealthy here, Dave. Unvaccinated sperm commanding 400% price premium at sperm banks. And the reason why that's happening is because of this report. And let me just bring that in. And basically this is Dr. Christine Northrup. Infertility clinics are reporting that the sperm of vaccinated men do not swim and the eggs of the vaccinated women do not grow into embryos. So it's just crazy, like all of this, it's crazy what is coming out. And you've also got the surge in infant death as well. So it is coming out. It's just, yeah.
No,
so
it is. coming out from a lot of different areas too, Caz. You know what I mean? We just got to get it in the mainstream, but it's leaching into the mainstream in places.
Well, yeah, in places it is. Yeah, in places it is. So
you know, we got our Sky News and that they're breaking a few things. You know what I mean? I've seen a bit, but I mean, again, not everyone. You know, it's like the ALP. I said last night. Cancels or the Australian Review the Australian Financial Review cancelled the thing because Labor's not happy because their little puppets aren't there. Channel 9 News. It's just unbelievable how they manipulate. It's a joke.
Yeah, no, I know.
Absolute joke.
So, and they're doing everything they can hide it as well. But the deaths, this is just we don't cover them enough because it's just pages and pages and pages every day. So New Zealand rugby star dead at 25 after a medical event. So yeah, it's just happening everywhere, really everywhere.
And there's another great comment from Belinda. What about the shedding and the teenagers sleeping with the jab? You're right, man. They are passing this. This is all by design, guys. This is what we're up against. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll be talking about this come next week, you know what I mean, on some stuff that we can do actually, guys, to help slow down the beast. All right. And actually get some decent valued good vitamins and different things, other things, detoxes and stuff like that, guys. All right. Whatever you're buying, all right, you're getting killed. Okay. They've got everything. It's manipulated, guys. All your Swiss and your Blackmores and all this stuff. If you're taking it, just stop now. All right. I'm going to go into this next week, but just, guys, all right, they are doing you more damage than you can believe, okay? But we do have a source, all right, that we've been having a look with, and, there is a way to help slow the beast, right? Still spend even less, actually spend less money, right, to not support the beast, but support the Patriot movement, okay? And these are tested products, guys, and I'm pretty excited about it, all right? So we've got to make the move, but we've got to help stop supplying the beast its money and get our stuff from somewhere else, because everything the beast is giving us, they have tainted. All right. And we're paying them the money to buy the tainted goods. We can put our money over here, a lot less money, and buy actual goods that will help us. All right. So we got to look into it, guys. All right. Things aren't right, man. What's that?
Can't beat me to it.
$1,000 a load. Wow. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
All right, here we go. This is a really interesting thing that's come out. Now, this is Hard Island. I'm not familiar with this story. Dave sent me this one. So let's have a look at it.
Drone footage. So somebody was flying a drone over Hart Island in New York, and they captured this. Several people in hazmat suits watching an excavator cover up coffins. Y'all, this is absolutely wild. Apparently this footage was taken around the height of COVID, and New York City was burying people that weren't claimed in their hospitals in mass graves on this island called Hart Island, which is kind of weird to me. This seems more like zombie type stuff than it does COVID, because why wouldn't you just cremate the bodies? That seems more civil than burying a bunch of people in a mass grave on an island. But New York even said that it's true. They have mass graves all over this island called Hart Island. And that's where they put all their unclaimed bodies and stillborns. Did anybody else know about this?
Weird.
Very weird. Yeah, I just come across it and thought, that is strange, man. Anyone who wants to go for a deep dive, go and grab that off the website, guys. Research it. I reckon, Donovan, $3,000 a day, mate. You that fit or what? Next subject.
We are fearless. The topics we covered here, nobody else will cover.
We don't care. As long as it's the truth.
All right. It's not just what we're facing is not just with the vaccinated. We've also got this issue, and it's population collapse, and it's actually a really big deal.
Is running out of people. It will get worse, and we are next. Last week, Japan's government announced the country lost 861,000 people last year as the country's fertility rate So the average number of babies a woman is expected to have over a lifetime fell to a record low of 1.2. For perspective, if you start with 100 million people and have 1.2 babies each, after 3 generations, you are down to just 20 million people. Related, over 65s now account for 30% of Japan's population, while a new study finds there are 9 million vacant houses in Japan, which is about 1 in 6 houses in Japan that are vacant and falling down. What's driving it? As always, government. Namely, we're running out of kids because slow growth and inflation force two-income families, while mandatory government pensions remove the main historical incentive to have kids to support you in old age. So if you're struggling to make ends meet as it is, and if you don't need kids when you're old, you will delay or skip them altogether. And that is exactly what happened in Japan. In the 1950s, Japanese women had, on average, 3.5 children.
Now, he goes into that. Now, what's interesting about that is Benjamin Fulford reported when he first went to Japan, he lives in Japan, and when he first went to Japan in the 80s, it was pristine, clean, their economy was booming and all of that sort of stuff. Now, he bailed up the economics minister, I think it was in the 90s, and he asked him, why did you sell out to the central bankers, the Rothschilds? And the guys told him, he said, look, the reason why is because they threatened to have earthquakes until we were basically obliterated, unless we took the central banks. So they had to adopt the central banks. Now, since then, what's happened is, of course, the taxes come in. People can't afford their mortgage and things like that. So they have to have 2 jobs. And this is why this is basically what's going on. It's the same as what's going on in the West. In Western society, what's happened is that they've basically made their mortgages and things like that. People need 2 jobs in order to survive, so they can have less and less kids, and then they import people. So, we've got a population problem, so we've got to import all of these people. So they don't let the jackboot off your neck, so that you can actually look after yourself and basically reproduce. And because what happens is, as people get older, they need pensions. So they need a younger group of people. So all of those people, 30% of their population is basically heading towards pension. There's going to be nobody to support them. So it means that they're not going to have any money. So it's just terrible. It's criminal what they've done.
It is. Yeah. And in the meantime, they've got everyone that sick and that confused and that, disorientated, that no one knows what's going on except us, guys. Except us.
Well, that's right. Now, we weren't going to cover the Olympics. However, this is an outstanding performance, and everyone needs to actually have a look at it, I think.
It's about a foot wide. There's no chance of falling over it. What a dismount.
Clearly an outstanding performance.
Yeah. They are incredible, them girls, from what I remember of that of the, a 4-inch wide bar, I think that is, guys. I think it's about 90 mil or something. Like, unbelievable what they do on it. Absolutely unbelievable. But,
And do we want to do the flashback, the ice skating flashback?
Oh, yeah. You remember this, guys, all right? I want to show you how to win a race here. Now, hang on, before you put it up. Now, the moral of the story here, guys, all right, and I was going to use this as a bit of an outro, but it doesn't matter. We'll get your head thinking I'll do another outro because I'm full of them. The moral of the story here, guys, is you may think that you've got no chance, all right, but guess what? Turmoil could happen at any moment, all right, and you just won. So have a look at this and remember this name. You'll remember it as soon as you hear it. I'm not giving it away. Go, Cazz. Never give up.
Away they go. Stephen Bradbury was content in his semi to sit at the back, and it looks like he'll do that again just here. It's the Korean skating up to take the lead. That's Ahn. Right with him is Ono. The Canadian tucked back third. That's Turcotte. Ono pushing up now.
There will be a lot of jockeying for position here. This is extremely important not to waste too much energy bumping and fighting the other skaters. Apollo looks like he's going to settle back into fourth position. Does not want to burn too much energy. He's going to let the other skaters lead it out. He's going to get a nice draft. Same with Bradbury sitting in the back. Bradbury can sit on Apollo's lead. See if he goes with Apollo here on the outside.
Pace starts to quicken. Look at Ono. Finds a way.
No chance,
Gets into
guys.
second position. Sitting on the tail of Arn. A bit of contact there. Less than 4 laps remaining. Stephen Bradbury still back in fourth. But this race is by no means over. It's the Korean Arn first. Ono skating in second position. The Chinese competitor Lee third. Now Ono makes his move. Listen to the roar. Has he gone too wide? He comes back inside. A lap and a half. Can Ono bring it home?
It's going to be very hard to pass Apollo Ono once this guy gets to the lead. He's almost impossible to pass. Skates a great track, holds the corners tight. But the Chinese skater on the outside. Oh, and it's a lot of contact. Oh!
They've all gone down. Bradbury is going to come through and win gold. Stephen Bradbury from the tail of the field. The Australian has crossed the line first. We will have to wait for the official confirmation.
There it is.
Chinese skater on the outside. Oh, and it's a lot of contact. Oh!
They've all gone down. Bradbury is going to come through and
The crazy part about it is when he was interviewed afterwards, he said that was his game plan. He said they're going too fast here. They're going to, there's probably going to be a stack. So he just thought, I'll just hang back here.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely brilliant, guys. That's just to never give up. You know, you're always in the race. You don't know what's going to happen in front of you. Okay, and there it was. 4 of the best ice skater in the world. Bradbury had no chance, man, and cruised through for the gold. Simple as that.
That's it. All right, last happy story. Ken Paxton. Now, he was the guy that they tried to use lawfare on. And the reason being is because he's actually an honest man by the looks of it. He's the Attorney General of Texas, and he has sued Meta, which is Facebook and other, and also Instagram, and to stop the companies practicing of capturing and using the personal biometric data of millions of Texans without the authorization required by law. And he's basically as a settlement of $1.4 billion. So good on him.
Well done. What do you say? Right. We just got to give it to this, this illegitimate government in every aspect that we can, guys. You're doing a great job, all right? We've got the government in turmoil. All right, the population's hating them because of the moves they've had to make. Because why? They've been pushed by the deep state to make them. All right, and they have to make these ludicrous moves because they've already sold themselves up, guys. All right, they're already signed off to the narrative. Okay, you know, we all know now what was going on. You know what I mean? And yeah, here it is. Okay, so the next pandemic is coming. All right, we need to let the people know. All right, get this show out there, guys. Keep emailing out the links, okay? But I'll tell you what else I've just had to do some research into, guys. Nursing homes. Nursing homes. You want to see the biggest rip-off in the country? Have a look inside of nursing homes. So I'm going to expose a bit of stuff about some nursing homes and how they rip people off for all their money and how they charge exorbitant fees per day. And then if you've got this much money, well, we'll have to take some of that as well. Just what these people actually in the fine print sign people up to, guys. You know, the last bit of their life. You know what I mean? And all these homes want to do. All right? And you know, the one that I thought was the only good one in Wollongong has actually got a protocol for euthanasia. A protocol to kill you. You know, I thought we were supposed to give the older people, we were supposed to look after them and love them and give them the longest life that we could actually give them. What a disgrace. They take them in, they rort them for every cent they've got. They charge them more than they can even afford. Then they'll make them sick with their little drugs, I presume. Is this what they do? I'm asking the question. Make them a bit crook and then invoke their suicide laws because, the poor patient's in pain. We can just voluntary suicide. Guys, we're going to break these things open, man, because I've just done some research, or my wife has, and given it to me, and I ain't happy. I'm telling you, we're supposed to be loving and looking after our old folks. How dare the government just kill them at will? Is that what they're doing? I ask the question. We're going to look into it, guys. We're going to look. Hey, yeah, you're talking about how much? 177. The one we just looked at, guys, well over $500,000 to walk in the door. $500,000 to walk into your room. Are you kidding me? $500,000. Unbelievable. You know, we've got heaps to be getting cranky about, guys, and standing up for. You know, the most vulnerable in our community are getting nailed. Our children and our freaking old people. And we're watching it. It might be their agenda, but we got to stand up. Anyway, I'll stop before I get myself arrested. Okay, let's go to the outro. But anyway, yeah, I've asked questions there, guys, and I'm asking the question, what's going on? Because from what I've just researched, it ain't good. All right, good night, guys.
Good night, guys.
I just can't believe that they're gone. No warning and nothing was wrong. Poor kids, only 5 and 3. Another hit to the family. I just can't believe that they're gone. No warning and nothing was wrong. Poor kids, only 5 and 3. Another hit to the family. With their mother's ill health still a mystery. With their mother's ill health still a mystery. Safe and effective is what they said. Why is my best friend suddenly dead? Safe and effective is what they said. Why is my best friend suddenly dead? Well, it's just a coincidence. Myocarditis, I'm out of breath, not under any stress. Heart beating out of my chest, told me it's anxiety, it's not a panic attack. They got me on some pills, an old disease came back. Myocarditis, I'm out of breath, not under any stress. Heart beating out of my chest, told me it's anxiety, it's not a panic attack. They got me on some pills, an old disease came back. A miscarriage and a turbo cancer. A miscarriage and a turbo cancer. Safe and effective is what they said. Why is my best friend suddenly dead? Safe and effective is what they said. Why is my best friend suddenly dead? Well, it's just a coincidence. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh. Well, it's just a coincidence. Safe and effective is what they said. Why is my best friend suddenly dead? Safe and effective is what they said. Why is my best friend suddenly dead? Safe and effective is what they said. Why is my best friend suddenly dead? Safe and effective is what they said. Why is my best friend suddenly dead? Well, it's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence. Well, it's just a coincidence, they said.